since I unboxed the scale last night, I weighed in this morning, and the verdict is unsurprising but disappointing. 254, which is the highest I've ever weighed. I have weighed 254 before, but I was pregnant with my last baby. So I'm disappointed that I've gained weight since delivery, but not that surprised, but it's about time I get this under control. I find myself kind of crashing mood-wise today. I know I was very optimistic yesterday, and I'm still resolute, but I'm nervous, and I think just I've been fairly aware of the fact that sugar is a huge source of energy for me. Always has been. I don't have a lot of vices. I can't drink caffeine right now. And at least for the last 5 or 6 years, I've really been using sugar as a crutch to have the energy to function as an adult. And now I'm gonna have to face it, face life without that crutch. And it might sound silly, but can't have caffeine, at least right now. And I don't really want a dependence on that either. I'm sure that'll end up biting me in the butt somehow too. But so yeah, I'm kind of crashing today, just mood wise, because I'm how am I gonna get things done if I can't, sugar myself up and use the energy to clean the house or whatever. I'm also a little bit nervous. I'm getting nervous because and this is why I've kind of avoided facing this kind of thing for so long anyway. I think I've always known it was coming in some form, but food, I am a foodie in the probably truest, deepest sense of the word. I have formed so many elements of my life around food. My kids' middle names are seasonings. I'm not kidding. I'm a trained chef. All of my earliest and best memories of childhood were of cooking. All of my birthday parties in middle school and high school were centered around the food. My favorite TV shows are cooking shows. When I was a kid, my sisters would be watching Saturday morning cartoons, and I would be waiting for the Saturday morning cartoons and the Saved by the Bell and whatever to be over, because then I got the remote and I could go to Channel 13 and watch cooking shows, and then I could watch infomercials where people were demonstrating rotisserie ovens and stuff like that, because I was just so engrossed in food. It's fascinating to me. It's beautiful to me. I love the art of it. I've always loved that food is 5-dimensional art. That's something I've always said. That's why I got into it, because it's the kind of art that you can connect with every sense. You can smell it, you can taste it, you can touch it, you can there's all kinds of texture involved when you're building it and when you're eating it, and you get to play with height and depth and so many dynamics of flavor and color, and you can use the original real strawberry red, you can use a strawberry, and I've just it is so fun and beautiful and enigmatic, and then it's also it's like it's art, but then it's also science and it's chemistry. And I've learned that I'm really good at chemistry because I think of chemistry as the recipes for the elements that become the recipes. And ironically, my grasp of chemistry is how I kind of understand why I need to get rid of the sugar now. I think if I didn't understand it as well, the articles might have gone over my head a little bit. But so I'm really kind of approaching a mild identity crisis. Not for the first time, but like realizing that this is like a forever thing. This isn't just like I'm going to go on a diet for like a couple months or something. And it feels a little bit like in a really weird way. It feels a little bit like realizing someone you considered a close friend is toxic. That's probably kind of pathetic, but I'm just a foodie in the truest sense. It's my hobby, it's my art form. It's just my interest. I have 100 books. Okay, so like I have probably about 1,000 books in my house. I love books, and I have bookshelves in every room, and then I sort them based on genre and application and stuff like that, and then I put them in a room that I think would be the most useful for me to be able to find it in that room. So like work and academic related stuff I have in the office, and then kind of more fun recreational stuff I have in the living room, etc. So I have a bookshelf in my kitchen with all of the books about food, food fiction, recipe books. Like it is recipe books, but it's also just like other kinds of foodie books. My favorite book, at least top 3 favorite books. One of my top 3 favorite books is called Alone in My Kitchen with an Eggplant, and it's a book of foodie essays, basically. Anyway, I have 100 food books. I read about it. I watch TV about it. I don't have to be eating it to enjoy it, but I wonder if I will be able to enjoy it as a hobby if I can never partake in sugar. It's intimidating to me to think of that. I respect the heck out of people like Pulpy Syntax who can just like give it up and just not let flavor dominate their life or whatever. But it just feels like such a part of my identity. I'm really a little bit nervous tonight about what it's gonna mean for me. So yeah, that's where I'm at today, and hopefully I'll wake up with more energy tomorrow, or I'll get used to the calorie deficit a little better tomorrow or the next day, and maybe my mood will not be so crashed. I do know that that's part of it. I do get more of a brain fog. I get a little bit of an emotional crash when I'm like I seem to be very susceptible to hunger, like hangry, like being hangry, and so I'm sure once my stomach shrinks or whatever, they always say like, oh, you know, like after the first week, typically your mood is not as bad in terms of the deprivation and stuff like that. So I guess I just need to like grit my teeth and hold on tight and wait it out. But you know, I don't know if anybody's like a viewer yet, but I'd welcome comments, encouragement if you have any. But I know that this will pass, and hopefully me being vulnerable about it will give somebody who finds this channel an opportunity to feel seen or understood, commiserate, maybe feel like they, you know, like I think it's normal to like, it's weird because I think that there's so much shame surrounding the need to go on a diet or diet culture, body culture, like health. Like I have a genetic predisposition for something and I feel very embarrassed about it, and that's very strange because I can't help it. it's a bummer, it's a disadvantage, but it's not like I've done something wrong. And yet, here we are. And so I think one thing that I'm not sure we as a culture really allow for, because it sounds so ever-loving privileged, is kind of like allowing yourself to consider going on a diet a true loss, like an emotional loss, and like allowing yourself to actually process it as a loss. I feel like maybe, and like I have a degree in counseling, a master's degree in counseling, so I will probably break things down to the emotional stuff sometimes, but I just wonder if maybe people would succeed better if they could properly just like grieve, or I don't know, grief sounds a little extreme, but like definitely process the loss of life as they knew it, when you're talking about a lifestyle change as opposed to like a diet. So I don't know, I'll probably flesh that out more in the future, but that's where I'm at today. So 254 is our start weight. Yeah. So let's hope it just goes down. I would like to never see this side of 250 again. I remember 7 years ago, when I first crossed the 200 threshold, thinking, oh my gosh, I've got to get this under control. I never want to see this side of 200 again. And at the time I didn't use a scale very often. But I have to say, I don't think I've ever seen the good side of 200 since then. It's been 7 years. Life's been hard. I do tend to give myself a lot of grace for just like the degree of stress I've been under, but you know, there are reasons and there are excuses. I do have reasons, but I'm not going to excuse myself either. And now push has come to shove and I don't have a choice, and lo and behold, I'm still stressed. So I've got to figure out how to do this, because I may never not be stressed, but I need to live a long time because I have kids and a family, and maybe when I'm not so hungry and in a better mood, I'll have other good reasons to live a long time. But for now, that's enough. It sustains me. So I hope you're doing well, and I hope that if you feel like you might be able to relate or you might enjoy watching me, I promise I won't always be quite so boring or philosophical, but this is just the mood I'm in today. I will do recipes and things like that. I was going to do a recipe tonight, but a friend of mine called me right as I was like setting up, and I didn't want to hang up on her just to make dinner, but I had to make dinner, so that didn't happen. But I'll try to make a recipe sometime soon. Anyway, so like, subscribe, and I'll see you soon.